Welcome to Real Estate on the Rocks, where you get top shelf real estate conversations served straight up, never watered down. Here's your host, Dave Snowberger.
All right, welcome back to Real Estate on the Rocks. Today in the studio, we don't have a studio anymore because we've been confined to our home. So we're doing these Zoom meetings, which makes it a little bit more interesting and obviously a little bit more fun. We've got James the Butcher Mendez down there. How are you doing, James? Oh, not much. And then our special guest in the studio, I keep saying that. Like, that's such a canned, like, BS thing I say all the time. But we have Reagan Sansom. What's that?
I said ultra special.
Yeah, right. We have an ultra special guest today, which is Reagan Sansom. She's with Chicago Title here in Austin, Texas, and we brought her on to really, she knows the ins and outs of what's going on in the agents' lives right now. She's involved with a lot of agents, a lot of she's seen the business go on firsthand. So she's a title rep. So we're going to go through all these things. We're going to find out what title reps do, who Reagan is, and really just go from there. So real quick, Reagan, thank you so much for joining us. Tell us a little bit about Reagan Sansom.
Awesome. Okay. Well, I'm Central Texas born and raised. I was raised in Georgetown. I went to Georgetown High. After I graduated, I moved around a little bit. I went to school at UTSA, and then I finished up at UT Austin. During those years in college, I started working for a title company here in town and learned the ropes. I did everything from front desk to funding and escrow assistant work and all of that. So I got to learn the business, and by the time I graduated, I moved up to Dallas and became a full-time escrow assistant there. And I liked it, but there was a little piece of my personality that was being left behind in that kind of job. It's a show up at 8, leave at 5 work day whenever you're an escrow assistant. And for me, I like person-to-person interaction. And so through the business, I had, met many marketing reps and business development reps and that kind of thing. And I started to think, I have so much knowledge about the title industry. Let me use that in a way that's going to make me happy as well. So I moved back to Austin and I started work as a business development rep here, and it just became the perfect niche. I'm able to and meet people, introduce them to our teams, let them get to know our escrow officers, and just be a matchmaker in the field and connect people, which is what I like to do.
Nice. Very nice. Okay. So let's dive into that real quick. So a business development rep, a lot of people don't know what a title rep does. We rely on, a lot of times, instead of calling an escrow officer, an escrow assistant, I like to call directly to the title rep and push a little sense of urgency sometime, or if we need any type of information on training new agents coming in or business development. I mean, break it down for agents that really just don't know what a business development rep can do for their business right now.
Totally. So whether you are a seasoned agent and you have many listings and things like that, so my role would be a complement to the escrow team. So you already sent over your contract, they're processing the order, they're getting everything started for you. On my end, I am helping you with that pre-listing stuff. Like, let's get a property profile put together so that you have something to lay out at your listing whenever buyers are coming through. Right now, it could be a virtual, an agent going and doing a virtual tour. That agent's going to be able to see that listing profile, read information about the property, get the deed restrictions and that kind of thing for the potential buyer. We also assist with marketing help. So if you're trying to enhance your Facebook page or your Instagram, or you want to send out print marketing, if you want to farm a neighborhood, I'm the complement to the escrow team. So the escrow team's not going to go in and say, oh, you want to farm Blockhouse Creek and Cedar Park. Okay. No, that's my job. I'm going to look up those homes for you. We're going to figure out what properties are maybe the most likely to sell, looking at a recording date and maybe even the loan balance, maybe the tax history, foreclosure data. We can look into anything like that and figure out, this is your farm. these are the people we want to contact, and these are the people that are most likely going to turn over as a sell for you. And then in turn, we get to work together as your title partner. So
Nice.
that's kind of my day to day. I do research, and I do a lot of connecting with person to person and business to business.
Okay, so if an agent was to really leverage you, or leverage a business developer rep, but you specifically, um, what really advice can you give an agent that would say your service? What would really benefit an agent? I know you do a broad spectrum of things, but what's kind of like that one thing an agent, a new agent, maybe a seasoned agent that business is kind of tapered off a little bit for them? What's that one thing that you recommend drilling down on that you can help with?
For someone that is just starting out, I think finding that base of clientele is the most important. Um, you're not going to be able to sell a home unless you know people. And so that's what we would work on, is just building a client list, a potential client list, and going through those neighborhoods, like I said, um, sending them, whether it's via Facebook, whether it's online or direct mailers or a phone call, but just touching your client base throughout the year, and keeping a steady presence in their life. That way, whenever they do have a real estate question, you're top of mind.
Perfect.
If it's someone that has a lot of business and has referral partners, then it's just staying in front of those referral partners in exciting ways. Um, so yeah, thinking of outside of the box ways to just contact your client base and send them something, or encourage them some way with whatever they have going on that just reminds them of you.
Right. So I like what you said there, because there's some validation in there that we always talk about staying in front of people. A lot of newer agents, and like just agents period, don't know how to do that. And especially in today's world where so much of it relies on social media and marketing. Is there a certain platform that you like to work with most, that you see the best return for agents? Is it Instagram, Facebook, TikTok?
I say, I mean, a lot of people jumping on TikTok right now just to kill some time. I don't think that that's necessarily the best place for real estate, but if
Right.
you're looking for something fun, like a fun video, then yeah, go to TikTok and share that on your Instagram or on your Facebook story, so that people just, have a laugh. Staying in front of your audience is key. So I think Facebook and Instagram both favor live more than anything. Their algorithms put that on top. Next would be videos. So it doesn't have to be a live video, but it can be a pre-recorded video. They're going to boost that kind of post and show that and favorite over other people that aren't posting video. You want to keep posting to your stories daily. I know it probably seems a little annoying, or you're like, you think people are gonna, get annoyed by you, but it really is important. Post what you had for breakfast. In the middle of the day, just maybe post a selfie. Selfies don't hurt. I think selfies are healthy. It gives people a chance to see you and be reminded of your face. And then, at night, maybe send like a quote that you like, or a book that you're reading, or a recommendation of some sort, just so that you're staying in those people's lives, even though we can't see them in person.
Right. Yeah, it definitely, social media enables agents to really cast that wide net. But I think you hit the nail on the head there, where agents talk about they don't want to bug the people their on their social media channels, they don't want to overpost. They don't think that people are interested in maybe a picture of their food or a selfie of them, or they think maybe a selfie's in a sense egotistical. I think it's more egotistical not to post a selfie, or to post your breakfast. I mean, if if you just have a bunch of doubt in your head that people don't want to see it, you're right. Whatever you tell yourself, you're right. I mean, I would reverse
Yeah.
the trend of thinking negatively about posting things, and post more, and just try it out for 30 days,
And
and
at
see
the
about
end
your
of the
engagement.
day,
Yeah.
they don't have to look at it.
Right. And once
So
again,
if
it
they
always
don't
goes
want to
back.
look at it, they're not going to.
Right. And it goes back to that thing that we always talk about, is that self-elimination. I mean, if people unfriend you, unfollow you, or anything else, they weren't necessarily, I'd say, a friend or a follower in the first place. Who knows how you got connected on through the social media platform. Like, I have close to like 5,000 friends. And I tell you, I don't know 4,000 of them, you know? And
Oh,
so
wow.
if I see people disconnect from me I wouldn't see on people follow
You
me, but
don't shed a tear.
I don't really shed a tear because that's not who I'm trying to appeal to. And I'm not really trying to appeal to anybody. I'm just being myself, and social media gives that outlet. Is
That's
that, you know,
exactly how it should be.
yeah,
Through my
we
training,
stop
I've
that stuff.
learned
Yeah.
that I know for a while there, maybe a few years back, Facebook business pages were kind of like all the hype, and everybody
Hmm.
started building Facebook business pages and this kind of thing. But what we're seeing is that the personal page is where it's at. You know, your
Hmm.
personal page should show 80% you as who you are as just an individual, and 20% business. If you are mixing a little bit of business in there with your daily play, that's what people are going to like most because it's a real representation of who you are.
Hmm.
And that's where, you know, everything that I'm seeing, that's where people are finding the most success with post engagement, comments, likes, that kind of thing. And then Facebook obviously likes it when people are engaging on your post. So yeah, just stick with it. Stick on your personal page. Promote yourself as a business through your personal page, and you'll start to see more success that way than trying to push something else alongside what you're already doing personally.
Awesome. Person, I love the validation there. It's always good when we can get an outside source. It's not a realtor that validates that for a lot of things that we talk about all the time. Like, we didn't come up with these things. We learned them as well, and we
No,
try to pass them on to newer agents or just agents in general out there. Um, but one of the things with hyperlocal agents is we've had this page for a little while, and I talk about the engagement on it. But what we're trying to do more is really spread the knowledge that we're learning back to everybody. So, like I said, the validation's great there. Um, is there anything that you're seeing right now that's working uh, exceptionally well for your friends and your clients? You know, I mean, you're telling them to do this. Is it, you know, obviously people love
yeah,
video, or Facebook eats up video. The algorithm does and loves it. So does Instagram, and live is even
definitely.
better. You know, I mean, what do you see, what are you telling people to talk about? Because that's what one thing that people lack, I believe, is topics. Like, what do I even talk about is usually what I get.
Okay.
Like, I wouldn't know what to talk about. Give them some things.
Okay. Yeah. So my number one, my favorite thing right now is virtual showings. So I'm having people literally submitting contracts from virtual showings right now because the buyers are staying at home, the agent's going to the property, touring the property. There's kind of all this funny stuff about people wearing gloves, masks, there's Clorox everywhere, and it's kind of part of our scene right now. You just make the most of it. But what I'm loving is just go tour a house because nothing says I'm a real estate agent more than you showing property. And when 100 people or 200 people, whatever you're following is, look at that story and get to see that property, think of how much more you, how many more people you have the potential to sell it to.
Hmm.
Instead of just taking one client, picking them up at 12, touring 5 homes that day and being done with your day, you now have the chance to tour 5 properties and have 500 people see them the same day, which I think is nice. And and it's proving to work. A lot of people are in the Austin area seeing such multiple offer situations because inventory is low that a lot of the times they're writing contracts sight unseen anyway. So if you're out there showing a property really well over video, that person's going to be able to see it just as well as they could if they were walking through in person. And then they can ask you questions too if you missed something. But we're finding huge success with the virtual showings right now. So I say get out there, go do that. If you're bored at home, you know, there's always something to do. You can tour properties online, get online and look at virtual tours that are available online, share those to your audience. They're already pre-recorded. Why not?
Hmm. Yeah, I don't know if a lot of agents know that there's a thing called broker reciprocity. So any marketing that's available to them that Zillow's using or Realtor.com's using or whoever, whatever search engine's using, we have the MLS, and typically we can pull the tours out of there. We can share all those things. People get so hung
Yeah,
up on that's another agent's listing. It's called broker reciprocity. We're all trying to sell our homes, and especially in a climate like this, to where, you know, we're listing agents. I want every agent out there to take my listings and represent them as your own. Bring me a buyer.
absolutely. Because
That's
think
your
about
job.
how many more people, you know, get to see it and the higher chance of you selling it are.
Yeah. And so we're really pushing, people ask or send me text messages or DMs all the time. Hey, can I list your property on Craigslist? And I just say, go for it. We use KV Core, so we have a really easy system to get into to where I can actually advertise anybody that's with EXP. I can advertise all their homes, and it just
Okay.
one click of a button, it runs through and I get these great ads out of there. But my job is to attract clients, and we can use anything that's in the MLS out there. If you want to ask the listing agent if you can use their stuff, send them a quick email, send them a quick text saying, hey, I want to promote your property. You okay with that? Very
Hmm.
few times, other than some luxury agents, don't want you to do that. But there's not a lot of things that can really stop you. It's just more of a professional courtesy, right? So
Right. Yeah. I
um
mean, I don't see why not just show those, show the pre-created video, maybe add in your own voice on top of it, and voila, you have a listing that you just showed. So send that out to your people, and they're gonna keep watching because what else are they gonna do? They're gonna be scrolling through their Facebook stories and they want to see some cool homes.
For sure. For sure. So how are you seeing right now? Like I said, as being a title rep, you know a lot of agents and you're in front of a lot of agents constantly, and you're pretty consistent with your message all the time. How are you seeing the agents act right now through this? Is there a panic mode? Do you see kind of a split crowd, or is everybody just kind of relaxed? It is Austin. People are a little bit more relaxed here.
This is true. So here in our market, which I have knowledge of, can't speak for other areas where they might
Right.
be freaking out a little bit more, but people are calm. I've told a lot of my audience and I've said, like, hey, are you still getting requests for showings? Is there still demand? What's going on? And they're like, yeah. The demand really hasn't changed. People are still wanting to move here, and people's leases are still ending, and they've still been saving down payments. And yeah, they're a little bit worried about maybe going into the homes, but that's, you know, nothing that we can't do for them. And so, yeah, demand is still there. I'm still seeing everybody staying positive. I think that if anything, maybe this like downtime that we're in right now where we're having to remain socially distant is only going to help improve the stockpile of homes that will be listed when we can go out. So I think we might see a big push of listings maybe in a couple months, and that'll be good for us. It'll be good for our market because we do need more inventory.
Right on. Yeah, we definitely do need more inventory. I think we need this might help a little price correction around the US. I don't see it correcting much in Austin because there's such a shortage of inventory right now. I think
Yeah,
before we went into this crisis, there was, and you can maybe speak to this since you watched the numbers, but there was about 2.5 months of inventory.
I think we're at 1.5 right now.
We're at 1.5 right now, so it's even more scarce. But I listed a house that we have, and I just put a coming soon out, and the response has been crazy. I
I
mean, I just
bet.
keep getting DMs about, hey, send me pictures of the interior, send me pictures of the interior. And what I'm going to plan to do is that I want one of my agents that work with me in my group to sell the property, right? And so I'd love to double in that transaction and
Hmm.
keep the money here. And so I've kicked everybody into hyperdrive on that. And the good news for you is that we closed this particular one with Chicago Title in the past. And so we're going to keep it with Chicago Title. So we have one coming your
Yippee!
way. So,
Awesome.
and with that, let's get into some really kind of behind the scenes stuff. So, who
Yeah.
picks title in Texas? The
So
agent, I'm
whenever
sorry, the buyer or the seller's agent?
Oh, typically the seller's agent, because when they put the listing on MLS, there's a section that says preferred title. So a lot of the times when the listing agent yeah, puts the listing online, they add in their preferred title company. And when a buyer comes through, a lot of the times in order to just seal the deal, the buyer's agent will go along with whatever the listing agent puts on the contract or on the listing profile. And so we do see a lot of the times buyer's agents not negotiating for their people, although they do have the choice. It is up to the buyer. It's going to be their title policy. Not to say that whoever the listing agent picked isn't going to be great. There's so many good closers in our industry, but you do have the choice. So really, it's just about negotiation. It's about how strong do you want do you want to fight for it, or do you want to at least ask
Hmm.
to see if your people can be in on the deal, or are you just going to kind of shake it off and hope for the next one? So right now it is primarily listing heavy gets to choose. The seller's agent gets to choose. Um, but that doesn't mean that we don't have buyer's agents that fight for us as well.
Right. So yeah, as seller agents, we list one or two title companies. Sometimes it can be of the where geographically that closing is going to be. Sometimes we list if we list south of town, we might use a different title company, even though title companies can really go anywhere. Sometimes we just do that, or I have them on a rotation because I have so many great reps like yourself, that we want to really um, keep everybody. We want to keep in good graces with everybody and really spread it out. I think there's enough business out there for everybody. There's definitely
And
title
we get
companies
that,
out
yeah.
there. Yeah. There's definitely title
Yeah,
companies
we
out
totally
there
get
that,
that. It's we help you, you help us. It's totally a reciprocal relationship.
right. And my decisions these days that come down to title is a combination of the business development rep, really kind of the value that they provide us. But I'll tell you the larger part of us deciding who title is going to get is the closer, right?
Yes.
And so
And that's
one of the
how it
closers,
absolutely should be.
right, and even their assistants, it's the chain all the way up. Is how accessible is that closer? We do deals from anywhere from Corpus Christi, Texas, all the way up to Temple, Texas, which is about an hour north of here. And I can tell you, there's some title companies out there that we just get, I wouldn't say the best customer service. And it boggles my mind because this is a customer service based business. And a lot of
Yeah,
times
oh
we
yeah.
need answered and go into panic mode where our sellers or our buyers need a piece of information, want information, or whatever else that relies on the title company. And so that's how I judge things is how has our relationship been so far, and how good is the closer, how good is the person that answers the phone at the
Yeah.
who's fielding the phone calls, who's working the reception desk, is he or she
Crucial.
right, going to help us out with that. So Chicago title's been great. We have nothing bad to say about them. um, One of my friends actually introduced me to Chicago title, and funny enough, uh, I knew your mom from
Hmm.
Chicago title, which
Yeah.
she's always had the reputation in the business of being knowledgeable and being a quote unquote badass closer. So she gets the job done and she gives us all the information we need. So a little tip to the hat to
I
your
love it.
mom and Chicago
She
title
really
real
is.
quick.
Thank you so much. I'll
Of
let her
course, of
know.
course. Yeah. Well, I think we let her know by sending over contracts. So
I
that's how
think so.
we
And I know
typically
she
thank
appreciates
folks.
it.
Oh yeah, we appreciate everything over there. So anyway, let's James, you got anything?
No, well, talk about the, I know you touched on a little bit, some of the marketing and stuff, but like, how do you, or can you walk them through how you, like, we met and you kind of went over what I was doing in business and like my goals and how you could, how we could leverage you and how that works? Because I don't think a lot of people really know how to get a meeting with you and like how to leverage all your talents, because it's a lot. Like, you do a considerable amount.
Well, thank you so much. Really, right now, I'm taking Zoom meetings. Yesterday, I had my first prospect appointment. So, prospect for me is a real estate agent that I haven't worked with or a lender that I haven't worked with, and I'm able to discuss my toolkit my invisible toolkit that I'm able to help you guys out with, and that's just a bunch of knowledge about the industry and different sites that you can either use for lead generation or marketing content or editing. It's just
Events?
events, definitely events. Right now, maybe not so
Uh,
much, but
yeah, we can't do those.
that
Yeah.
doesn't mean that we can't prepare and that we can't
Yeah.
brainstorm and plan an event, for August. That's just going to be, a showstopper. Um, so yeah, what I'd like to do is first off, initially, I just want to get to know whoever I'm meeting. I want to, hear about you, your family, what you like to do, how you like to conduct business, where you're looking to primarily focus your business, and then we can start diving into that. Now, everyone's different. So with you, James, like you have a history in the military and you just recently moved in with your fiance and all of these things. And so I got to know you and just hear your story. And that's how we can mold a plan that works best for your business. And it's just kind of learning the bits and pieces that make you, you, and then how we can apply those to people that would be attracted to you as a client. So really, I just recommend, let's meet, let's FaceTime or just have a call. It doesn't even, we don't have to see each other. We can just have a call and say, hey, I'm Reagan. This is what I do. This is where I'm hearing that maybe I could assist a little bit alongside your business. And let's implement some things, some strategies that have worked for my clients in the past, and see if we can get you some more business that way.
That was the first time. I mean, I've been pitched and, you meet people and everyone's like, hey, yeah, let's do business together. Let's do this, let's do that. And it's very just very transactional, or just kind of like, hey, let's hang out, or let's do something at some point in the future, where you dove in and really just made a solid connection and worked all the pieces to align them. So it seemed like a good quality process, from start to
Thank you.
not finish, but through the whole process, which was the first.
I think it's because I truly care. I don't see it as a transaction. I'm not going to be able to work with everyone. So the people that I do work with, I really want to know. And I want them to know me as well and like me and be able to ask me questions or text me whenever they have them. It should just be friendship at that point. And so, yeah, definitely. I take it to another level and try to make the best
let me
first
hop in there,
impression.
and I'll give that some validation. When Reagan first came into our office, I kind of just rolled my eyes. I was like, oh, another title rep, without even giving her a chance, and just kind of like, oh, another title rep, and just go to my office. And then I just hear her kind of continue to talk and continue to, put herself in front of us and continue to really grow the relationship without asking for anything, and it was just kind of like, okay, she brought my guard down a little bit. And I don't know necessarily why I have my guard up so much. However, I think we just got bombarded, and especially me being the team leader, is we get bombarded with people trying to do business with us, phone calls of people trying to set meetings and whatever else. And so after a while, and after 7 years of it, you grow kind of a thick skin to whoever else, and we'll see who's fly by night and who's not. Because I see a lot of title reps come into the business, and next thing you know, they're in another company, and then they're in another company, and then another company. I'm like, 4 companies within 6 months, it's just like, I don't want to give you my business, and I don't want to give you 30 minutes of my time. However, with Reagan, it was really easy to let my guard down, and she provided value right off the bat. And one of the funniest things that I think it was Christmas card was we got a good laugh in my office about it. It was like, Dave, over time, you've really grown on me, which means Dave, I thought you were an a-hole, but now I kind of see past your tough exterior, your thick exterior, and you're actually an okay guy.
And it was kind of my way of making light of the fact that you finally let me in a little bit too.
Right.
I was like, man, because you were a tough cookie at first. I remember walking in, especially whenever you got your new space, and you're like, basically, it felt like you asked me, why do you even come here? They weren't those words, but I was like, Dave, if I wanted to stop coming, I would have stopped coming 3 times ago. I'm just gonna keep coming back because I want to get to know you guys. I really do care about meeting you and getting to know you, and I want your business to be successful, and I want to work together. And so, it was just funny to kind of see where that typically was and then where we've come from.
That's typically what it takes in business, period, is that you have to really kind of vet people and see what they're, how willing they are. Because I get people all the time. I talk about, for sale by owners, that the most obstinate people out there are the easiest ones to crack. Right. And so I'm giving everybody a secret. I'm pretty obstinate, but I'm pretty easy to crack. All you have to do is show your value. Right. And once I see value, it's like, man, I'll build a great relationship with you, and I don't know if you're the same way, but that was what was my thing, was that you showed us value after showing up 2 or 3 times, and you brought me Topo Chico for the, to drop off at the office.
Listen to the things people like.
Right.
That's another tip.
And so, yeah. And so once you brought the Topo Chico, I was just kind of like, okay, she's not so bad, you know. I'm just kidding. But
Butter
we've
'em up a
been,
little
we've been,
bit.
I made sure that they stocked it at our offices too.
yeah.
Nice.
I think one of the last times we went to one of your office happy hours, your grand opening at one, everybody tried to hand me a beer, and I beeline straight for the
Topo.
Topo Chico. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
So, all right, let's come to the personal side stuff. Reagan, what do you do for, you know, really recreation?
Ooh, fun. Okay, so outside of work, I have a 1-year-old, and he is just all consuming. So we do lots of playing, lots of singing, lots of picking up toys and getting out toys, and it's just all the things that come along with having a 1-year-old. Like, I'm always trying to get him to start potty training, and he looks at the toilet like, "Mom, you're crazy. Like, why are you setting me on this thing?" So fun stuff like that, like teaching a little human how to be a little human is what I do recreationally most of the time. I just got a little buggy for my bicycle so he can
Oh,
ride
nice.
around on the back, and it's really fun because most of the time if we're gone for more than 20 minutes, something about it puts him to sleep. So I'll just pedal back into the driveway, and I'll look back, and he's just all cheeks and lips, just passed out in his little buggy, and it's the cutest thing in the whole world. Um, and oh man, I love to do art. I like to. I'm a big fan of the iPad Pro. I just got one with a pencil, and so
Oh, yeah.
I doodle all the time, and that's kind of my way of journaling. I kind of doodle my thoughts instead of write them. Sometimes I write too, but definitely big into painting, pottery, art of any kind, being creative and unleashing those thoughts through my hands and making something beautiful.
Perfect. Perfect. Thanks for
Yeah.
showing people your side of your personality, because they don't necessarily get to see what we see all the time. And it's just this reason why I wanted to have it on the podcast, like I mentioned, is just you're this like little light, you know, that always has this positivity. And I'm one of those people, once again, it's just kind of like, there's no way people are just that positive all the time. You know,
Oh,
in
I
the
know,
back
but
of
you've
my
been
head.
doubting me for so long.
And she actually is that positive and nice all the time, you know, so
Oh,
absolutely
thank
love it.
you.
So
Thank you.
once again, let's start taping this thing off, but I want to know about your goals, you know, really
Okay.
your goals for, you know, once we come out of this craziness that's going on right now, and I'm sure you've got goals right now to make it through healthy, you know, once we get out of this, what are your year-end goals for 2020?
Yeah. Okay. So, really good news. So I was in charge of taking on our brand new Chicago Title Cedar Park office. We opened it about a year and a half ago now, and um, we brought over one escrow officer and her team, and I was able to assist them as their business development rep, make agent introductions, really build up that office. And we got to the point to where we weren't able to really accept a lot of new business, and so we've been recruiting, and we've added 3 new team members to that office. So my new goal is to keep making connections and introduce um, agents and lenders to those new teammates that I now have at Cedar Park. We cherry picked them from other companies, so we're very excited to have them. And also just helping our other branches. We have 5 total locations in Austin. All of them are up and running right now still. We have small crews at each office. We are doing closings out in the lobbies of the offices if there's lobbies, or outside if they're able to do that. We're not actually having people come in and sit at the closing table, but we are sending out mobile notaries and doing that kind of thing. So we're just keeping business flowing in the safest possible ways that we can. And so I just hope to keep bringing in business, and yeah, continuously learning how to better engage over social. This time is really helping me figure out what's working, what's not. And so I think that having a really active and a positive social presence is key. And so I'm going to keep that going through 2020 as well.
Perfect. Okay. So last question here. one piece of advice for a new agent just starting out in the business, what would you tell them?
Connect with a business development rep. Yeah, seriously though, like your partners, you're not alone. Your partners will help your success so much. So if I were getting my real estate license right now, I would be like, okay, who do I want to work with that's an insurance agent? Who do I want to work with that's a lender? Who do I want to work with that's a title company? And go and meet virtually or in person and go just like get to know them, see what they can add as value to your business. And that's really how you're going to start expanding exponentially. And they're going to have contacts for you. They're going to have referrals. And so I think that is the number one thing that I recommend. And also just get to know other agents in the market. Shadow someone that you respect and that you think does really good business. And then you're going to be able to blossom just like they did.
Great answer. Your advice is spot on, and it really aligns with the advice that we give on this show with hyperlocal agents and real estate on the rocks. Is you have to build your team,
Yeah.
and we have a couple different title partners on our team. Reagan's one of them. But we have a great lender and we have a great insurance guy, and those are the people that get recommended first by us. We always offer 2 or 3. However, and especially when it comes to listing homes, it's when we ask the clients if they have a title preference, they typically lean on us because that's why we're there, right? And so we can build our team, or do we have an insurance or whatever else. A lot of people here build a team and they think of the traditional sense of like, oh, I need agents and whatever else. Well, typically when you're starting out, you don't want to recruit a bunch of agents to work for you. Nobody will come work for you if you're a new agent. You need to build your team as far as, like you said, the business development rep, an escrow officer, a lender, insurance person, an inspector, anybody else you can think of that does business and that's able to refer business to you. That's building your team. So anyway,
Right.
Great advice,
And
Reagan.
if you don't know people that are in those other industries, people like myself who have a role similar to me, we're always out there meeting the people, seeing who's actually working, seeing who's getting the job done the right way and in a timely way. And we have good referrals for those people as well.
Perfect. And I know I said that last question, but I'm going to ask you one more. This is what I'm trying to put into my little questionnaire arsenal here. But one app that you're using right now above everything else. What's one app out there that you're just having fun with, or you're using in business?
Okay. Gosh, I think that, it's hard to pick one. I have 3 favorites. I'll name all 3. Breakthrough Broker, Canva, and Zoom right now are my 3 favorites. I'm
Nice.
using those all the time. If you don't know about Canva, it's the easiest design hacking tool you could ever use, in my opinion, and it's totally free. So if you just need to send out a little blurb, it's good to mix things. Like if you're sending out a photo on your Facebook and then you want to just send out a cutesy little something with your information on it, go to Canva, create something, and just see what you can do. Like use your creativity to make something that represents your personality. And it could just have your phone number on there and say, call me if you need a house, anything really simple. But yeah, Canva, Zoom, and Breakthrough Broker I consider it the Pinterest for real estate. Like you can just log in and search anything and they are going to have a downloadable template for you, or advice, or a marketing plan, or a referral playbook, or something like that. So I think Breakthrough Broker is an awesome resource, and I have a corporate partnership with them. And so if you would like to sign up, I would be happy to sign anybody up that wants to send me their name and email address.
Perfect. Well, we added you to hyperlocal agents. There's pretty much just realtors in there, but we've added a few key people in there, and you're one of them. So if you want to share the Breakthrough Broker information or invite people in, we don't mind you doing that. But all 3 of those are great. And the funny thing is the Breakthrough Broker, the other day I logged into it and I saw your face up there in the corner because it's your account that you invited us. And I was like, well, boom. I was like, there's Reagan. Let me invite her over to the podcast. So that's actually what spurred that. So it's funny you brought that up. So certainly appreciate it. I'm going to let you go for now. We'll do this again soon. But
Good.
like I said, we've added you to the group of hyperlocal agents. Get in there, interact with people. It's agents from all over the U.S. I know there's Chicago titles everywhere.
There
You know,
are all
so
over the U.S. and then some. We're outside
yeah.
of the U.S. too.
If they need to connect with somebody in their area from Chicago title, I'm sure you can do that or help them with that. But I'd encourage you, if you're local to Austin, Texas, reach out to Reagan over here. She can help you in your business, and definitely is a great tool to have. She's not a tool, but she's a great tool, a great a great
I'm a wealth of
resource.
knowledge.
Yeah, a great resource. So anyway, Reagan, till next time, we certainly appreciate it.
Thank you so much for having me. Your at-home haircut looks great.
Oh, thank you. Thank you so much.
Yeah. Okay.
James, all right. We'll see y'all later.
All right.
Awesome.
Take care.
Bye.
Bye.